This is Egypt, located in the northeast of Africa. It's the biggest Arab country in the world, and very soon it's going to surprise the entire world. Egypt isn't an ordinary country. It is the birthplace of one of the oldest, most powerful, and longest-lasting civilizations on Earth. Egypt is full of ancient conspiracies and mysteries, and one of those mysteries is its geography. If we look at Egypt's map, it covers an area of 400,000 square miles, and 97% of that area is desert, which is why life here has always been a challenge. Even today, 90% of Egypt is completely empty. So then how were ancient Egyptians able to build such powerful empires here? The answer is the mighty Nile River. It is 4,000 miles long and is the longest river in the world. Without it, the Egyptian civilization might not have even survived. There's a saying that Egypt is because of the Nile and the Nile is because of Egypt. Even today, Egypt's entire population lives up in the north, alongside the Nile River. And the most interesting part is that Egypt is the only country in the world where this population pattern and the roots of the Nile River can be clearly seen from satellites, even at night. Thanks to this river, Egypt has always been a farming centre, even though it's surrounded by the hot Sahara Desert. At one point, Egypt supplied 30% of the Roman Empire's wheat. Even today, this river is Egypt's lifeline. 90% of Egypt's population lives along this river, while the remaining 10% lives near the Red Sea, in New Valley, Matru, and Sinai. And the reason for this population pattern is that 80% of Egypt's agricultural land is along the Nile River. Because of this river, even today, Egypt is among the top 5 countries in the world for producing onions, dates, and garlic. But there is a problem. Egypt's population is increasing very fast. Between 1920 and 2020, the population grew 8 times, and in 2024, Egypt's population has crossed 110 million, which is why it's now the largest Arab country in terms of population. By 2050, Egypt's population will reach 160 million, and for that many people, only 4% of agricultural land will be far too little. Because of urbanisation, Egypt is losing 2% of its agricultural land every 10 years, and if this continues, by 2050, Egypt will face a massive famine. So Egypt has only 26 years left to solve this problem. Even today, 50% of Egypt's food supply is imported, and those imports are a huge burden on Egypt's GDP. To fix this, Egypt is building the world's biggest artificial river, which will turn 9,000 square kilometres of desert into farmland. And Egypt has done something similar before. Between 2015 and 2020, Egypt had already converted 5,000 square kilometres of desert into agricultural land. In 2021, President El-Sisi announced the new Delta project. In this project, an artificial river will be made using the Nile River, and it will be the biggest artificial river in the world. The Nile River originally starts from Lake Victoria in Uganda and flows through northeast Africa, eventually ending in the Mediterranean Sea. Right now, water reaches the fields through one of the Nile's branches called the Rosetta branch. But this isn't fresh water. It's actually wastewater from the fields that used to flow straight into the Mediterranean Sea. Now, Egypt is reusing that same water and turning it into an artificial river. The route of this river will go like this. It will start from the Rosetta branch, flow for 50 kilometres along the Mediterranean coastline, and then stop at the edge of the Nile Delta. From there, through pipes that are 3 metres wide, the river's water will be sent 64 kilometres into the desert to the Al Hammam water treatment plant, where 7.5 million cubic metres of water will be cleaned so it can be used for farming. From this plant, on the eastern side, 125 kilometres away, water will be sent directly from the Nile River through pipes, and with the help of these 2 water supplies, this 9,000 square kilometres of land will be turned green. This way, Egypt's agricultural land will increase by 23%. Many crops will be grown here, and since it's close to the coastline, all these food supplies can also be easily exported. This project will provide food for millions of people, create jobs for 5 million people, and Egypt's dependence on food imports will end completely. Work on this project is moving fast. In 2023, satellite images of the construction site were released, showing that the project was already 40% complete. In June 2023, fresh water was released here for the first time. The satellite images also show that on the west side of the treatment plant, circular fields have already been made, where irrigation is happening at full speed. So in a nutshell, if the work continues at this speed, then in the next 2 years, this project will be completed and will change the fate of Egypt. But on the other hand, Egypt is also making some surprising decisions that might cost it heavily in the future. For example, in 2015, the Egyptian government announced that it would shift the capital from Cairo to a new city 50 kilometers away in the desert, and construction has been ongoing since 2016. But because of this investment, Egypt has fallen into $58 billion of debt. And this is where UAE comes into the picture. future. UAE and Cairo signed a deal under which UAE bought the Egyptian city Ras El Hikma for $35 billion. In this city, state-of-the-art infrastructure will be built, and according to some analysts, this could become the next Dubai of the Middle East. But on the other hand, some Egyptian analysts say that through this deal, President Sisi has not only sold a city, but also sold Egypt's sovereignty. Now, Egypt will have to do whatever UAE says. Also, Egypt's role in the Israel-Palestine war has been heavily criticized. So on one side, Egypt is working on some very ambitious projects, and on the other hand, some of its decisions might bring dangerous consequences in the future. But only time will tell what the result of these decisions will be. Do share your opinions in the comments section below. These are all the sources we consulted for this video. See you in the next video with another interesting topic. Take care of yourselves.